in the rugged dale country of North Riding, Yorkshire, where the wind sings in the dry stone walls and the hills roll like the backs of sleeping giants. The village of Bainbridge has stood for centuries, quiet, unchanging, and full of stories. Among its most treasured is one not written in books, but carried in sound, in ritual, and in the breath of a single villager each night, every autumn and winter evening. Just as the last of the light slips behind the western fells, a figure emerges. Onto the village green, a modest square of land ringed by slate-roofed cottages and watched over by generations of weathered oaks. Clutched in the hornblower's hands is a curved and time-worn hunting horn, said to be centuries old, its surface polished smooth by the grip of those who have come before. At exactly the appointed moment, he raises it to his lips and lets out a long, low call that sails across the rooftops and out into the moorland dark. The Bainbridge horn, as it's known, is not just a token of tradition. It is a voice, ancient, reliable, and warm, that once meant the difference between life and death. The practice began over 700 years ago, when Bainbridge stood at the edge of the mighty forest of Wensleydale. Back then, the woods were thick and deep, filled with bracken, bog, and beasts. Travelers could lose their way in a heartbeat, caught in mist or storm, their oil lanterns barely piercing the gloom. In those days, the villagers began to sound the horn at dusk, so the lost could find their way by its voice. They say the horn's cry could carry for miles, over hills, across ravines, threading between the trees like a guiding spirit. It became a promise that if you could hear it, you were not alone. That somewhere over the next ridge, a fire glowed in a hearth, and hands waited to welcome you. Through the centuries, the forest shrank and the dangers faded, but the custom endured, unbroken, even during plague years and civil wars. One villager passed the duty to the next, generation after generation, their names remembered only by the horn itself. No matter how biting the wind or heavy the snow, someone always walked to the green and gave voice to Bainbridge. There were moments when it almost died. In the early 20th century, with cars replacing carts and maps replacing memory, some questioned its purpose. One particularly bitter winter in 1904, the horn was not blown for 7 days. On the 8th, a local shepherd, old, half-blind, and long presumed safely home, was found near the edge of the moor, clinging to life beneath a hawthorn tree. "I couldn't hear it," he whispered to the searchers, "so I kept walking, that no one dared let the horn go silent again." Today, the forest of Wensleydale exists only in name, a scattering of trees, hedgerows, and ancient roots that still clutch the earth. But Bainbridge's voice remains. The hornblower, now a title passed like an heirloom, still steps out each evening, sometimes to a silent street, sometimes to a gathering of curious visitors drawn by the old tale. The first blast is strong, the second steady, the third just a little sad, as if the horn itself remembers what once was. Children pause their games to listen. Dogs prick up their ears, and every now and then, someone walking late on a back lane will hear the sound on the wind, and feel, for just a moment, as if they, too, are being guided home in Bainbridge, where the hills remember and the stones have seen it all. The horn continues to call. It is a song of tradition, of protection, of belonging, and it rings not just through the valleys, but through the hearts of those who still believe that some things are too sacred to ever be silenced. If you enjoyed this eerie tale from Britain's haunted past, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below with your favorite legend, or share a chilling local story of your own.